Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the Indian nation. Introduction. Mahatma Gandhi, whose full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, is widely known as the father of the Indian nation. He led India to independence from British rule through his unique approach of non-violent resistance. Gandhi's principles of truth, nonviolence, and equality have left a lasting impact on the world, influencing leaders and movements for civil rights and freedom across the globe. Early life. Mahatma Gandhi was born on October 2, 1869 in Porbandar, a small town on the western coast of India. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was the chief minister Diwan of Porbandar, and his mother, Putlibai, was deeply religious, spending much of her time in prayer and fasting. Gandhi grew up in a home filled with religious teachings from Hinduism, Jainism, and Vaishnavism, which shaped his early moral and ethical beliefs. As a child, Gandhi was shy and introverted. He was not particularly brilliant in his studies, but he was known for his honesty and strong sense of duty. At the age of 13, Gandhi was married to Kasturba Mukherjee, a girl of the same age, in an arranged marriage, which was the custom in India at that time. Despite their young age, Kasturba played a crucial role in supporting Gandhi throughout his life. Education and journey to England. After completing his primary education in Porbandar and Rajkot, Gandhi went to London in 1888 to study law at University College London. He promised his mother that he would adhere to vegetarianism and stay away from alcohol and women while in England. In London, Gandhi struggled initially to adjust to the English lifestyle, but eventually found a balance between his Indian roots and his new surroundings. During his time in London, Gandhi joined the Vegetarian Society and started to study different religions, including Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism, which deepened his understanding of religious tolerance and nonviolence. After completing his studies, Gandhi returned to India in 1891 and began practicing law in Bombay, now Mumbai. However, he found it difficult to succeed as a lawyer due to his shyness and lack of courtroom experience. Time in South Africa and the birth of Satyagraha. In 1893, Gandhi accepted a one-year contract to work for an Indian law firm in Natal, South Africa. It was in South Africa that Gandhi faced blatant racial discrimination for the first time. On one occasion, he was thrown off a train for refusing to move from the first-class compartment, which was reserved for white passengers. These experiences profoundly affected him and awakened his sense of justice. Gandhi decided to stay in South Africa to fight against the discrimination faced by the Indian community. He began organizing the Indian population, who were mostly laborers, into a united force. He developed the concept of Satyagraha, which means truth force, or nonviolent resistance. This philosophy emphasized the power of truth and nonviolence as the most effective means of achieving social and political change. For the next 21 years, Gandhi led several successful campaigns against discriminatory laws in South Africa. He encouraged Indians to peacefully defy unjust laws and accept the consequences without resorting to violence. These campaigns laid the foundation for his later work in India. Return to India and the freedom struggle. Gandhi returned to India in 1915 as a respected leader and immediately began working to improve the lives of Indians suffering under British colonial rule. He traveled across India to understand the conditions of the people, especially the poor farmers and laborers. His travels made him aware of the widespread poverty, illiteracy, and exploitation in the country. Gandhi became an active member of the Indian National Congress and soon emerged as a key leader in the fight for independence. He launched several nationwide movements against British rule, using his philosophy of nonviolence as a tool to unite the people. Champaran and Kheda Satyagraha. One of Gandhi's first major movements in India was the Champaran Satyagraha in 1917. The poor farmers of Champaran in Bihar were forced by British landlords to grow indigo, a cash crop, instead of food crops, which left them starving. Gandhi led a peaceful protest against this practice, and the British authorities eventually agreed to the demands of the farmers. In 1918, Gandhi led another successful movement in Kheda, Gujarat, where farmers were struggling to pay high taxes due to crop failure. Gandhi encouraged the farmers to refuse payment until their demands for tax relief were met. The British government eventually relented, marking another victory for Gandhi's nonviolent approach. The non-cooperation movement. In 1919, the British passed the Rowlatt Act, which allowed them to arrest and imprison anyone suspected of sedition without trial. This law sparked widespread anger across India. In response, Gandhi called for a nationwide strike, which led to the non-cooperation movement in 1920. Gandhi urged Indians to boycott British goods, educational institutions, and legal courts. Millions of Indians responded by giving up their government jobs, titles, and honors, and by promoting Swadeshi, self-reliance, by making and using their own goods. The movement gained massive support and shook the foundations of British rule in India. However, the movement was abruptly called off in 1922 after violent clashes erupted in Chauri Chaura, where protesters set fire to a police station, killing several policemen. Gandhi, deeply committed to nonviolence, was disheartened by the violence and decided to suspend the movement. The Salt March and Civil Disobedience Movement. In 1930, Gandhi launched the Civil Disobedience Movement with the historic Salt March. The British had imposed a heavy tax on salt, a basic necessity, and prohibited Indians from making their own salt. To protest this unfair law, Gandhi embarked on a 240-mile march from his ashram in Sabarmati to the coastal village of Dandi. Thousands of Indians joined Gandhi on this march, and on reaching Dandi, Gandhi broke the law by making salt from seawater. This act of defiance inspired millions of Indians to join the Civil Disobedience Movement, which involved boycotting British goods, refusing to pay taxes, and peacefully breaking unjust laws. The movement spread across the country, leading to mass arrests and widespread unrest. Imprisonment and negotiations. Gandhi was arrested multiple times during his campaigns, spending a total of about 6 years in prison. Despite being in jail, he continued to inspire the nation and negotiate with British authorities for reforms. In 1931, Gandhi was released from prison to participate in the Second Round Table Conference in London, where he represented the Indian National Congress. Although the conference did not result in any immediate progress, Gandhi's presence on the international stage highlighted India's struggle for independence. The Quit India Movement. During World War II, the British government wanted India's support in the war, but Gandhi and the Congress demanded complete independence in return. When the British refused, Gandhi launched the Quit India movement in 1942, calling for an end to British rule in India. The slogan, "Do or Die," became the rallying cry for millions of Indians. The British responded by arresting Gandhi and most of the Congress leaders, leading to widespread protests and uprisings across the country. Although the movement was suppressed, it showed the British that they could no longer maintain control over India. Independence and partition. India finally gained independence from British rule on August 15, 1947. However, the country was partitioned into two nations, India and Pakistan, based on religious lines. The partition led to horrific violence between Hindus and Muslims, with millions of people displaced and hundreds of thousands killed. Gandhi was deeply troubled by the partition and the communal violence that followed. He spent the last months of his life trying to restore peace, fasting and traveling to areas affected by the violence. His efforts helped to calm tensions in some areas, but the violence deeply pained him. Assassination. On January 30, 1948, while on his way to a prayer meeting in New Delhi, Mahatma Gandhi was tragically assassinated. He was shot by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu extremist who held Gandhi responsible for what he believed was the weakening of India due to Gandhi's efforts to promote peace between Hindus and Muslims. Godse was opposed to Gandhi's nonviolent approach and his willingness to compromise with Muslims during the partition of India. The assassination shocked the world and marked the end of an era in India's struggle for independence. Gandhi's death was mourned by millions, and his passing was a profound loss for both India and the global community. Legacy. Mahatma Gandhi's life and teachings have left an enduring legacy that continues to inspire people around the world. His philosophy of nonviolence, or ahimsa, became a powerful tool for social and political change, influencing many leaders and movements, such as Martin Luther King Jr.'s civil rights movement in the United States and Nelson Mandela's fight against apartheid in South Africa. Gandhi's commitment to truth, nonviolence, and justice set a moral example that transcends borders and cultures. He showed that it is possible to achieve great social change through peaceful means, without resorting to violence. His birthday, October 2nd, is celebrated annually as Gandhi Jayanti in India, and it is also recognized globally as the International Day of Nonviolence. Gandhi is remembered as the father of the nation in India, and his teachings continue to inspire efforts toward peace, tolerance, and human rights around the world.